Um, Thank you for joining. And my name is Jennifer Coldiron, and I'm the Chief of Performance Measurement and Evaluation for DCHS. I'm here with Carrie Flory, who is our Business Readiness Manager and has been doing an amazing job with communications and change management around CORE. I want to let you know that this conference call is about to be recorded. So we're going to start recording now, and it will be posted to the CORE for Providers SharePoint site. See the recent newsletter that went out if you need help figuring out how to access the CORE for Providers SharePoint site. You can also directly instant message us or send us questions at core@kingcounty.gov, and we'll answer them at the end of our presentation in the order that we receive them in. And the IM function we have both through Zoom and Skype, so hopefully you'll be able to. Carrie is following the conversations there. So I'm gonna go back to this page here. This is our CORE logon page, and I'm excited to give you a status update. We did have a first wave of about 40 providers who are monthly submitters. Most of them are funded by our mid-behavioral health sales tax, and almost all of our first wave of providers have been able to successfully submit into CORE. In fact, they were able to submit faster than they did last year at this time. And so we're really excited. We feel like that is a good omen and shows that CORE is ready to take in a lot more data that we're expecting in April when all of our quarterly submitters start entering into the system. We did have a couple that are still working out some kinks on their end in terms of reporting, but we have been able to provide support around completing reporting spreadsheets. So please ask now if you have a ready day of and a couple of days before. We're really here to answer any questions, provide technical assistance. We have been seeing the benefit of CORE already, and we've seen an amazing turnaround in the quality of information submitted, and what would normally have taken a bunch of weeks back and forth emails has really been resolved in minutes. So because of the CORE error reports, people have been able to very quickly, usually within 1 or 2 resubmissions and probably 10 or 15 minutes, be able to address the data quality issues and get their data successfully submitted. Some of them have been able to do that on their own. Others have picked up the phone for the first time and just asked us some questions. And so we've been really pleased at how easily people seem to have been able to make the transition, and the data is already of higher quality. So that to us is really exciting, and hopefully means that the transition that you're about to go, I'm assuming most people on the call are quarterly submitters, so we'll start going into the system in April. Hopefully that gives you some confidence. I do want to say, give you a pre-training update. We think everybody has received their active clients of 2019 spreadsheet, what we're calling our starter spreadsheet. So that should be a spreadsheet that is in the format that you need to submit into CORE, but have all of your active clients that you submitted probably in January. So my staff took on the task of transitioning your active clients that were active as of the end of 2019 onto your new reporting spreadsheet, and transitioning all of those data elements like race, name, all of those things, making sure they're in the right format. So if you have not received that starter spreadsheet that then you would complete in order to make your first submission in April, please reach out directly to your evaluator and they will make sure that you get that. If you don't know who your evaluator is, you can email core@kingcounty.gov. But we want to make sure that everybody at this point knows exactly the format that they're working on and feels confident that they know what to do next. So that brings me to reminding us where we are in this journey of CORE. So we right now are about to be in March, which is kind of crazy. And if you missed the account coordinator or the Microsoft Excel training, there are links to those trainings in the last newsletter. So everything that we're doing, if it's in person or if it's on Skype or Zoom, we are recording and we're putting them on the SharePoint site so that people have access to that training and information all the time. And we're going to be continually updating that. We're going to be making sure that everybody has ongoing technical assistance and training. So please look out for the Excel training. We got really rave reviews about that. People felt like it was super helpful, not only for core, but also just for their professional advancement. And then the core basic training, again, we feel like hopefully people can come in person to the ones that are happening in March. So like I said, we're going to be core basic training in March. But if you're not able to attend in person, we will have everything online, and you should be able to know what to do just with the online materials as well. I want to confirm that all of the account coordinators should have their login information. We have created all of those in the system. So if you are a provider agency staff member and you have not yet received your login information, please contact your account coordinator. So every agency should have a designated account coordinator who has an account and has the ability to create accounts for their colleagues. If you're not sure who your account coordinator is for your agency, please reach out to core@kingcounty.gov or your evaluator, and we'll make sure that we can make that connection for you. So basically, we are at the purple van-ish thing on this roadmap that Carrie put together, which is awesome. We're here for technical assistance when it comes to your spreadsheet and making sure that you're able to get your reporting ducks in a row. And then core basic training is about to start for our quarterly submitters. And that will give you all of the tools to know how to submit your spreadsheet and what to do once you're in the system. So I want to highlight that Carrie sent out an email yesterday, and at the bottom it had links to all of these trainings. Instead of sending out a bunch of calendar invites that we were frankly having some issues with being rescheduled by accident, we are using Eventbrite for this so that we can keep an accurate of how many people are coming. So we really encourage you to register. You'll see that we have designated funds for each of the meetings, and that's just in case people want to kind of create a natural community of practice. If you prefer to be other people who are funded by BSK and so maybe have had a similar change process going into core, you might want to go to the view on the 18th or the 19th. Any of them, they're all identical trainings. You just might have a preponderance of people who are funded by a particular funding source in the room, but it shouldn't impact your ability to learn what you need to learn. So we're asking that people please only sign up for one, so that we can make sure that we know and we have a count of how many people are going to attend realistically. And if you didn't receive a newsletter that looks like what I'm showing on the screen right now, please search your inbox for core@subscriptions.kingcounty.gov. So it all comes through a subscription service that we're using. And if you don't see the newsletter, please ask somebody at your agency to forward it to you, or email core@kingcounty.gov to make sure that you are receiving the newsletter. We probably have another 1 or 2 monthly newsletters, and then we probably will go to more quarterly or whenever we have a major update. But it is a really important way that we're trying to make sure everybody has the necessary information. So that's training. Please spread the word. We will make sure we have a lot lower turnout on this webinar today, we think, because we used Eventbrite. So we will definitely make sure that we send this training information out several more times so that we make sure that people are getting the information. But if you have peers that you see or are in other spaces with lots of other providers, we encourage you to please spread the word. So we have about 3 weeks to get people trained up. So I'm going to go back to the core logon page. And the last thing that I wanted to show you all today were dashboards. So today we're going to talk about dashboards, and You'll learn in training about how to submit the data, but we wanted to also hopefully get you a bit excited about what your submission and the process will then immediately feed back to you. One of our biggest goals of CORE, other than streamlining the data submission and management process, was to give data back immediately to providers and make sure that your partners here at DCHS are seeing the same information so that there can be conversations about performance and how things are going. So what a dashboard is actually, let me log on first. I'm going to go to sign in here. And this is a test environment, so it's not real data. And let's see. .com. So if you all don't have sign-in accounts yet, please talk to your account coordinator. So like I said, what we're about to see is fake data. It's in our test environment. It still looks and feels like what you would experience in the real system. What a dashboard is. So we're going to click on a scope of work here, and that is for a particular program that this One Red Veteran Services that they're providing. And you would submit your data in submissions. And once it has been accepted and submitted, you can see here, they had some submissions. Sadly, they've been late, but they did get things imported. Again, this is totally fake data. As soon as you have a successful submission, you can go to this performance tab and you will see dashboards. And dashboards are simply just visualizations, data visualizations that help you get an at-a-glance understanding about what's going on within this organization. And we've divided it up into two different main sections. One is at the top here are standard demographics. So looking at how many people are being served, what some of their basic characteristics are. And you can see here we have race, ethnicity, gender identity, whether or not they're experiencing homelessness, if they have any military service. And so for every scope of work, this will be the first chunk of dashboards that we'll see. And it might depend on your funding stream a bit about what is standard. So for Best Starts for Kids, we probably aren't going to be asking about military service. There will probably be some other standard piece here. But by and large, this will just give you a snapshot. Who did we serve in the last reporting period? Then below that, you will see a variety of tiles. This doesn't have a ton that are built out yet, but for most of our programs, we'll have a lot more down here. And this is broken down into our results-based accountability framework. And if you are familiar with your program's performance measurement evaluation plan, you should be familiar with how much, how well, and better off. And so for all of the performance measures that are part of your PME plan, you're going to see your trend data for these measures. So one of the things in how much often is just simply how many people are being actively served. So you can see that in this fake program, they've increased their enrollment every quarter, and perhaps there's a target of serving eventually 60 people. That's like full capacity. Well, that might be something that you as an organization and your program manager within DCHS is tracking and seeing, let's make sure we get to that in a certain amount of time. If not, maybe DCHS would provide some technical assistance or something. But that's the kind of information that you would get from this space. And again, there should be, or in your particular program, you would see several more measures here. Better off is percent of clients connected to a caregiver, and that might be the exit status. So it might take some time to get some data on that. So you can see here the first 2 quarters, we didn't have anybody that exited, so we couldn't measure that. The third, we had 100% of the clients who maybe exited were connected to a caregiver. So you can imagine that over time, as you start to enter multiple reporting periods worth of data into this system, you should be able to get a robust understanding of how your program is doing. And again, this is just a snapshot. and it would become available and get updated every time you have another successful submission. So you can see right now, the most recent submission for this fake program was clearly Q3 of 2019. If this program came in and submitted data for 2019 Q4 and then 2020 Q1, they would see 2020 Q1 data here. And then down below with the how much, how well is anyone better off, you would see probably 4 quarters worth of data there. So a full year is what we're shooting for. And it really is supposed to be a snapshot. Next time we have a webinar, we're going to talk about reports where you can get a larger reporting period worth of data and visualize data in other ways. But the performance, hopefully you will just get in the habit of submitting your data, popping over to the performance tab and just seeing like, oh, is this what I expect? Are there any issues here? And partly it might just be for your own awareness about how your program is performing and who it's serving. But we actually already had a monthly submitter that has submitted data. And by looking at this these dashboards right here, they were able to be like, oh, something's wrong with our data. We must have coded that wrong or had to put in the wrong data because they knew who they were serving and this didn't reflect who they knew they were serving. So they actually worked with their evaluator to correct that data. So it's already providing cleaner data that can be more trusted. Because these are dashboards, they are pulled from a set of calculations that are coded into the system, so they cannot be manipulated. So you can't change colors and things like that. In the reports that we'll show you next month, it definitely has more customization features. And we do want to say, while it has a print page here, it doesn't print super pretty. So we suggest that you print it using the snip and sketch tools on your computer. So you can just grab a picture and then print that. So that would be a more visually appealing way of doing it. The other thing that we can do in terms of customization though, is if you see this and you say, you know, for my program, we're really tracking where people live to make sure we have good geographic coverage. You can contact your evaluator and they can manipulate which dashboards you see here. So we, for all of the scopes of work right now, we have given you the standard assortment. But if for your program, for whatever reason, you're really interested in tracking immediately a different variable that you know you're reporting data for, our evaluators can change that. So reach out to your evaluator or court.kingcounty.gov if you have customization requests, and they can work with you to see what's possible. I'm wondering, sorry, I just want to make sure. Yes, okay. So the last thing I wanted to say is that the core basic training will go into more in-depth information about these functions, as well as the reporting functionality. And the reporting functionality we're going to have a whole training on after people have submitted a couple of quarters or a couple of months worth of data, so sometime this summer, so that we can really help people play around with the reporting and the query functions. But for now, we just wanted to give you an overview of what you'll see and hopefully some of the benefits of submitting data into CORE. Not only are we already getting cleaner data and data more quickly, and there's less back and forth, so less burden on you. Hopefully getting this data visualization you find useful and interesting. We've already heard that some people are excited to share this out with their boards or to bring it to a supervisor's meeting. So please let us know if there's anything we can do to make this more useful for you. And I think that is all we wanted to share today. Yeah, so we can take questions and please put them into the IM chat in Skype and Zoom. And again, we really encourage you to attend one of these trainings. And if you're not able to, let us know. We'll make sure that you can find the materials online to get ready for going into CORE in early April. So thank you for joining us, and we will field any questions. Carrie right now is seeing if anything came in through core@kingcounty.gov and checking the IMs. Okay. So we'll wait just a couple minutes, see if people have questions, and if not, we will stop early and look forward to seeing you at the trainings. Okay, it looks like we have wowed you with our presentation. um, Basically, we're just really excited that this is up and running, that our first group of submitters had a very smooth and positive experience. And I just want to keep iterating. We are here to help. We are here to help not only with the technical aspects of the system, but also with the actual data reporting and the spreadsheets. So please, please, please reach out to your evaluator or core@kingcounty.gov if you have any questions. And we want to make this as smooth as possible and as useful as possible. So also let us know if there's anything we can do to make the system more useful. Okay. Let's see, I think we have maybe one question coming. Yeah. Okay, yeah, the links to all of this information right now is in our Core for Providers SharePoint site. Unfortunately, it has a somewhat cumbersome process to get access to, because you do have to get access through our King County IT system. But Carrie has links at the bottom of all of our newsletters about how to go through that process. And that's where our training will be. Once you have a login, if you can at least just log into Core, let me confirm with Carrie, but I think I'm about to say something accurate. Yeah, there's the on Core, and let me see if it's even in the training system. Okay, so we are working on making it prettier, but on Core, there are training videos. So if you can at least, there we go. Yeah. So here you can see, here's our account coordinator training. Here's our Excel for fundamentals for core training. You can also get the PDF of the slides that were presented. So if your account coordinator has at least given you login, you can go directly into Core. You don't have to go through the process of getting access to SharePoint, and you should be able to get all of the information that you need to get up and running. So hopefully that is easier. If you don't have an account, please contact your account coordinator. And if you don't know who your account coordinator is, reach out to core@kingcounty.gov. Okay, and with that, we are going to give you all 25 minutes back. And thank you so much for joining us today. And hopefully everything goes smoothly, and we will see you at the trainings. Thanks, bye.